This is a two-parter. We can see that some profit targets and stop loss prices are mentioned in here. So we'll have to do that tomorrow in the BlackBird workshop. So, but for today, we can at least get the signals working here. And so this one's pretty straightforward. So he's using this swing indicator here, the swing trend indicator here that's drawing the swing lines, right? And this swing trend will identify when a new trend direction is detected, right? So that's what we're seeing currently on the chart here that Veer's managed to put together. So the first bar that a new swing direction has been detected is being marked here. And what he'd like to do is basically confirm the swing trend direction, confirm the signal with the next bar, right? So when the swing trend changes directions, we get that notification there. Well, we want to wait for the next bar and make sure that the next bar is also in the same direction with the swing trend. So for example, like over here, right, we have an upswing signal, but it came on a down bar. So the next bar actually needs to reverse and be an up bar. So this would be a no-go. So we want to actually prevent this long signal from happening because the next bar was a down bar. So it was in the wrong direction with the signal. Same thing over here. So we actually had a short signal, but the next bar was an up bar, and so that bar was in the wrong direction. So we want to block that short signal there. And then this long signal, and the next bar was an up bar, so that would be good, and we would get the signal through. All right. So with that, let's get going here. Okay, so we can see I've already got the swing trend indicator on my chart here. So let's get BloodHound open and get today's file name set in there. All right, now I'm going to start working on the logic template here. And let's see, what should we call this? All right, so we're looking for the swing trend signal with the confirmation bar. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the threshold solver here. All right, connect that in. And let's give this a name. All right, and then we're going to change the input here. So to the swing trend indicator. All right, so here's the swing trend indicator. Let's add it to our list. And of course, just remember to change any of the parameters here, such as the swing strength, if you're needing to use a different swing strength, the swing type, whatever's, make sure that these settings kind of match what's on your chart. All right, then next we need to go down here and find the trend direction. There we go, or swing direction, yeah. So there's the swing direction output there. So we'll enable that like so. And now we need to set our outputs like so. There. All right, so there we go. So the outputs, so now what we're seeing is we're seeing when the indicator detects that swing direction. Let's see here. Although this is not quite what Veer has, so let's see here. Let's, instead of this, let me use a slope solver instead. So I'm going to do the same thing just with the slope solver. All right, go down here. And also, let me take a moment here just to explain, right, what is this swing direction here? What is the output here? So if you notice, it's an int series, that's short for integer. It's an integer series, which in programming terms, that means it's a whole number. So it's going to be a 1, 2, 3, or 5, right? It has to be a whole number there. But what this swing direction is it's going to be a -1 value if we're in a downtrend, right? It'll be a +1 value if we're in an upswing direction. And it will be 0 if there is no swing direction detected yet. And of course, so basically the swing direction it's only going to be 0 at the very beginning of the chart, right? At the very start of the chart where a swing direction hasn't been detected yet. So that's the only time that the swing direction will be 0. So, but once a swing direction has been detected, then it's always going to be a +1 for an upswing or a -1 for a downswing, right? So. All right, yeah, and so with the slope solver, you kind of have to draw a graph of the output, but basically, the end result here is the slope solver. We can see it kind of looks like it's kind of giving us like a crossover output. So we're only getting a signal on the first bar that the swing direction is detected, right? So it gives us a little cleaner look there, right? So there's kind of two ways you can do this. So you can use the threshold solver, right? And that'll give us a continuous output for the duration of the swing. And then if we just want a nice discrete single signal like this, we could use the slope solver for that. So let me give this a name before we go too far. All right, so there we go. And we're gonna need to do one more thing here. Let's see. Oh, no, okay. I'm thinking of the crossover solver. So I can't do that. All right. But what I need to do is, actually, this is a good spot to work here. So, right. So we can see we have an upswing, but the next bar is a down bar. So we actually want to kill this signal because of this down bar here, right? But what I need to do is take the signal and extend it forward, right, onto the next bar. And so I'm going to do that by using a lookback node. And so the lookback node, we're using the displacement function of the lookback node here. So let's connect this all up there. And so now, right, we can see the signal is now pushed forward one bar onto that second bar that we want to analyze and make sure that it's in the right direction, right? And so now we can just simply use a bar direction solver here, right? So if we connect up our bar direction solver, right, we can see here on, let me grab an arrow, right? So on this bar, we can see it's actually a down bar, so we're getting a short output. And so this long output will conflict with this short output, right? Once we connect them together with an AND node. Right, so if we feed this into an AND node, connect that up, and there we go. Now the signal is gone. So perfect. And if we take a look at these others here, so there we go, a down bar, up bar, down bar, short signal. There we go, up bar, there we go, down bar. So, all right. And let's see, yeah, we can see that there's no down signal or up signal here. And if we wanted to verify that, we can just connect this look back in. Yeah, so there we go. So for this downswing, right, it occurred, right, it was looking at this bar for the confirmation bar. And then this upswing was looking at this down bar for the confirmation for the upswing. So there we go. stripped out those really short swings there. Let's see. So yeah, let's take a little summary here. So here's the original signal. And let's back up here. Yeah, okay, here's a good spot. Right? So this is the original signal coming from the swing trend indicator, right? So we can see so we have a downswing and we get this short output here. And then we're waiting, and then we want to look for the next bar to confirm the down move. So we use the look back node. And let me actually rename this. I like to rename these. So I'm going to rename this to basically displacement of 1, because that's what I'm using this look back node for, is to displace the signal by 1 bar. And so now we can see this short signal is shifted forward 1 bar onto the confirmation bar, and we can see that this is actually an up bar. And so just using a bar direction solver will either nullify this signal or allow this signal to go through. So David's asking, why did I use the slope solver? Well, because here, let's take a look at this. So if we look at this threshold solver, so this kind of basically gets into some mathematics here, right? But this threshold solver illustrates what the indicator is outputting, right? So again, so when there's an upswing, that indicator is outputting a positive 1 here, right? So visually, we can see that positive 1 output here. Let me use a line here, right? So we can see, BloodHound's kind of illustrating for us, right? A positive 1 output when it's in an upswing. And this downswing here, the indicator is outputting a negative 1, right, when there's a downswing. And so if we changed the plot style to line, what would it look like? Well, it would look like this. So when you go from short and then up to along, right, we can see the plot line, it has a slope. It slopes up for 1 bar, right? As it's going from -1 up to +1, it is sloping up for 1 bar, and then it goes flat. So we can see that when there's a uptrend or a +1 output, right, the slope is flat because it's +1 for every bar, right? So that's why the slope solver works, because right, so we have this +1 output, right, and it's flat. All these +1s basically have a flat slope. And then for 1 bar only, when it switches directions, it goes down, right? So the slope of the values slopes down mathematically. So it goes from +1 down to -1, so we have a down slope. And so that is why the slope solver works in this particular case, right? So you just kind of have to visualize the output as a line plot like this. So here we can see that the line plot slopes down for 1 bar, and then it slopes up for 1 bar every time when it changes directions like that. So that's why the slope solver works. So, and again, going back to the screenshot here, Severe wanted just a discrete signal here. He didn't want a continuous short signal or a continuous long signal. He wanted one discrete signal there, right? So we can see the threshold solver, isn't going to do that for us. It gives us these continuous signals. So we just take the slope solver signal and just extend it forward and look at the next bar for the confirmation there. All right, there we go. Let's connect that all back up like so. There. All right, so hopefully that makes sense there, David.